Good morning. Okay, so a lot of people have been curious about what's going on with this hormone replacement that I had done last week, and I just wanted to share with you a few of the things that I have felt over the past, it's only been 6 days. So the more I talk to people about these pellets, the more people that I find are actually using them. So what Biote is a hormone replacement that's in an organic yam, and then they test your blood, and then based on whatever you're lacking, they create specific to you a pellet that they place then in your tushy area. So in 2018, I started hemorrhaging, did that for about 1.5 years, was placed on medical menopause, which eventually I had to have a hysterectomy. And so I had my hysterectomy 2 years ago, February. And since then, about 10 months after, I really started to struggle with fatigue, brain fog, having absolutely zero energy. All my muscles were aching. It was taking me, like, my hips hurt so bad I have to sit down in church sometimes. And so Lori McGraw, who's in my workout group, had messaged me one day, and she's like, hey, just so you know, I'm not going to be logging my workouts because I have to get my pellets this week, and you can't do any glute activity for 3 days. And I was like, okay, tell me more. I've been hearing about these pellets for about 10 years now. And just with all the things that have gone on in my body, I figured it was something that I needed to at least explore. It's not covered by insurance. It's all out of pocket. So, you obviously want to do your research, but I've known so many women that have just had incredible results from it. And so when I went in, probably about a little over a month ago at this point, she tests your blood, and I've known for probably 1.5 years that I've been having thyroid issues. I've had multiple blood work done. I've had blood work done at a holistic place and then 2 places at doctor's offices. The holistic place told me that my numbers were low and that I was on the brink of autoimmune. The doctors don't test all of your thyroid numbers. There's like a T3, T4, and then there's a couple really long words that I can't pronounce. And so when I went into Revolution Health up in Sturgis, Michigan, and I had the blood work done, it's like $65, I think, to get the blood work drawn. And then I went ahead and scheduled my pellet appointment. Within 24 hours, she had me on a thyroid medication. So they start you off at 15 milligram. This is just for me personally. I'm sure everyone is different. But they started me off on a 15 milligram for 2 weeks and then up me to a 30 for 30 days. And then I'll go up to the 60, and then that's what I'll be on. And so when I was in there last week and I asked her about my blood work, she said, well, according to like ranges, you're technically in the normal category, but you want to be operating at an optimal level, and your numbers aren't optimal. My T3 is low. And so as a woman, your testosterone is supposed to be between 150 and 250. Mine was 20, which is obviously super low. I've talked to my future sister-in-law. She's having the pellets done. Her testosterone was at a 5. She was experiencing a lot of the same things: irritability, brain fog, lack of energy, lack of focus, just all kinds of different things. Absolutely no sex drive, which Daryl and I are having sex till we get married. He'll probably shoot me for telling you that, but we're just not. So I'm a little nervous about experiencing those things. I just keep putting that to prayer. But so what the pellets are supposed to do is within 72 hours, you're supposed to feel some sort of something. And then within your first 30 days, you go back and they'll test your blood work again to see what your first 30 days of replacements have done. And then after that, I think it's 3 months, then 6 months, and 12 months. So they're constantly optimizing optimizing it in order to make sure that your body's getting what it needs. It's not just like, oh, here, you have low testosterone this time, and so we're just going to give you the same thing. So my estradiol was a little bit low, so there's a little bit of that in there, but because I don't have a uterus, I didn't need progesterone. So if you have a uterus, you may or may not need progesterone thrown in there. So there's lots of different levels of estrogen. So it's very specific to your own body's needs. And as a female, the older we get, we know that, things we always say fall apart. But I think so many times we forget that whether you've had children or not had children, like a woman's body was made to have babies. And when you don't have babies by 35 or you have a hysterectomy, your body all of a sudden is completely depleted of all of the hormones that you're supposed to have. And there are creams and things like that that you can put on, but I don't want to do something every day. So you go every 3 to 4 months for your pellets. So I paid $385. You go every 3 to 4 months, and then you just do it. And then they'll continue to check your blood work every 12 months. If it needs some adjusting, you do some adjusting. And then there's you need to make sure your vitamin D levels are on. So I'm doing 5,000 EUs. I use of vitamin D3 with A and K. My B12 was low, and then they give you, it's specific to Biote. So Biote is the brand name of the hormone pellets that I'm doing. I know that there are other off-brand things that people can do, but I've heard that the effectiveness level is 15% less than. Again, I don't know that. I never researched that. So do your own research, but be your own advocate. If you are a woman of any age, you've had kids, not had kids, had a hysterectomy, something could be going on in your body. If you are exhausted, if you can't focus on something, if you have no sex drive and you're a married female, if you're having weight gain, I gained 27 pounds in 18 months, doing exactly the same thing that I've been doing forever. When your body's not performing at optimal levels, when your thyroid's not producing at optimal levels, your thyroid is everything for your body. And when your thyroid is funky, your whole body is funky. And so what? The doctor says that you have numbers in normal range. Why would we want to be in a normal range? Why would we not, the older we get, want to be in optimal range? So what I have noticed over the past 6 days is that yesterday I came home, I slept maybe 3.5 hours Saturday night. Niece and nephew sleeping between them was not very restful for me. I did not take a nap yesterday. Daryl slept for 2 hours on the couch, and I had every intention of taking a nap, but I didn't. I came home, I gave myself a manicure, I did laundry, I just did all of the things. I went to bed last night, I had a really good night's sleep, I didn't wake up in the middle of the night. This morning, okay, I've been doing this workout program, I'm on week 11 out of 13. This morning, I've been doing the same type of workout for the past couple weeks. This morning, in 1 hour and 4 minutes, I burned 502 calories. My average heart rate was 123 beats per minute. And then my recovered heart rate was 77. The same workout that I did a week ago, I burned maybe half that amount of calories. I was able to lift heavier. My muscles do not hurt this morning. I feel very clear. My pee is very yellow. So, you can tell that the things are going on. My skin, one of the symptoms is within the first 72 hours, you can have a breakout. You can have a little bit of spotting. And I did have some of those things. But I love that they just warn you right ahead of time and say, these are the things you could experience. You can't do any glute workouts for 3 days after your pellets. But you can walk, you can do... I did my upper body workouts, and I'm just telling you, even my vision seems clear, which I know sounds kind of crazy, but I'm going to the bathroom more regularly, and it's been 6 days. So if I've had that kind of experience just in the first 6 days, I'm really excited to see what happens to my 30-day blood work. So if it's something that you're considering, if it's something that you've talked about, if it's something you've never heard about at all, invest in the blood work. See what the blood work says. You can always go back. I went ahead and scheduled my appointment because I knew it was something that I wanted to do, but see what the blood work says. If your testosterone is low, you're not going to function at a normal level. I talk to women all the time who are either in my workout group or have considered my workout group, and they're like, I just have no energy. I have zero desire to exercise. This morning, when I woke up at 7 o'clock, I was excited to get my workout in today, and I was able to push hard through the whole thing. I lifted heavier, and I decided to do a bonus leg 13-minute workout, and I'm excited to see what happens. So there are so many things as a female. You know, we carry excess belly fat, which is called visceral fat, on our stomachs. And that is the one thing that so many females are so self-conscious about. But if your thyroid is not operating at optimal levels, if your hormones are just constantly like trying to work themselves out, nothing you ever do, no amount of fad diets, no amount of no carb, no amount of cardio or lifting or anything is ever going to fix that problem. You've got to dig that stuff up from the root cause, from the inside out, and heal from the inside out. Pray about it. Talk about it. Get some information. Laura up at Revolution Health, she was absolutely amazing. I didn't even think about having a hysterectomy because it's something I've tried to put in my past. And Daryl said to her, he's like, well, after her hysterectomy, she's like, you had a hysterectomy? When? 2 years ago. Well, no wonder you don't have any hormones. So I've been told by my gyno, by a thyroid surgeon, I had a biopsy on my thyroid. I've been told by so many people over the last 6 months that I'm fine. My body's fine. And this woman, in 5 minutes of a conversation with her, knew that I wasn't fine. I needed a female to, first of all, relate to me, because a man cannot relate to a female dealing with hormones. They just can't. And when you're irritable and you're this and you're that, or you're having just a hard time focusing on staying productive in one task, like a squirrel on crack cocaine, that's me. I'm so excited about the focus. I'm excited about how strong I feel after my workout. Just be your own advocate. If you feel like something is off, find someone who's going to take you seriously. If you don't live in this area, research Biote. Find someone local to you. Go get the blood work done and see what it says. You could be low in testosterone. You could be low in progesterone. You could be low in any of the estrogen things, because there's multiple different levels. Your thyroid, even if your doctor and your blood work say you're fine, you may not be optimizing at optimal levels. Be your own advocate. For the first time in probably the last 3 years, I'm going to say, I'm actually I don't know, I'm just kind of excited. So I'm hopeful. So just make an appointment, find someone, do something. You're not crazy, okay? You're not crazy. Move your body, fuel your body. No amount of exercise or healthy foods is going to fix a thyroid issue, but when you feed your body with sugar, you're feeding disease. Sugar is it feeds disease. And when you think about all of the processed foods that are in box stuff on the shelves, so many starches. If you're eating gluten-free, make your own bread. Avoid gluten-free bread. If you look in there, usually the first 3 to 4 ingredients are what make up the majority of the food that you're buying. And there's potato starch, tapioca starch, all these kind of starches that turn into sugar, which turn into fat. Gluten-free is fine. I'm trying to eat gluten-free as best as I can. I don't have celiac, but my body doesn't love gluten. I'm trying to avoid dairy. It's very hard in the area that we live because there's just not a lot of places that help out a female who's trying to eat gluten-free, dairy-free. Don't buy fake soy. I was living on Boca Burgers for a long time. Don't eat fake soy. If you want to eat edamame straight out the peel or the shell, do it. Avoid fake soy. Really try to watch the ingredients on the things that you are eating, that you're buying, that are not whole, healthy foods. Anything that you see in even your mouthwash and your toothpaste sometimes can have sugar in it. It's that if it ends in LOSE, it's a form of sugar. When you buy 2% or 1% milk, they add sugar to your milk in order to take out the fat. Whole, healthy, fat full milk is the best thing that you can drink. Or if you want non-dairy, buy a non-dairy option. Whole, healthy, whole fat milk, that is the best thing for you. Eat real butter. Don't buy fake butter. If you have a dairy issue, I love cheese. I'm trying to not eat it. Nutritional yeast, you can buy it at Meijer or Kroger. Most places have nutritional yeast. It's kind of, it's something that I sprinkle on my salads or something when I want that cheese kind of flavor. There's just so many options out there. And so be your own advocate. Try to make sure that you are, don't make excuses about the cost. Like, we spend money on so many stupid things. Like, our Amazon orders are ridiculous. Sometimes we find ourselves going out to eat like 3 times a week. We've spent $150. Going through the drive-through when you're like, oh, I'm just going to run through McDonald's. You cannot feed a family at McDonald's for less than $40. And that food is poison and disgusting. Like, think about the money that you're spending on those kinds of things and invest in some blood work. Invest in a meal plan that's going to feed you and fuel you and not ask you to diet or whatever. Like, sit down, spend some money, or spend some time, do some Dave Ramsey stuff, and just figure out areas in your life where you can cut expenses to do pellets if you need to, or do the research, or do a workout program, or whatever. You're worth taking the time to figure out what's going on in your body. And if at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're like, I got to sit down and take a nap, something's off. I would literally go to bed at 1 o'clock and sleep sometimes until 3. So just, you're not crazy, okay, is the point of this message. You're not crazy. Your hormones are probably wacky. If you have no sex drive, if you have no energy, if you're gaining weight or losing weight, you need to have some blood work done. Call someone and do it. Not your doctor necessarily, not saying all of them are that way. I absolutely respect so many people in the medical profession because I know that that stuff is legit. Just sometimes we need someone to go a little bit deeper. So go a little bit deeper, invest a little time, do some research. Biote is Biote, the hormone replacement. You can Google it, research it. But I highly recommend it to anyone, and I'm only 6 days in. So anyway, that's all I got.